Guys, welcome back to another edition of The Pulse. I don't want to get to the point where I'm saying this every week, but it's true. We have another outstanding guest who has been a trailblazer, a star, award-winning. Now I guess we go as far as calling her a fitness guru. We've got Miss MoNique joins us today on The Pulse. How are you today?
Hey, my baby. How you doing?
I'm doing well. You laughed when I said fitness guru. I was serious.
I've been called a lot of things. Okay, some things very good, some things okay, but a fitness guru, baby, I'll take it though.
So that means I follow you on Instagram, and I've been seeing you getting your fitness on. So you're doing big things.
Well, you know what? For me, my trainer knows to keep it exciting because I'll get bored really, really fast. So he knows you got to keep me moving. You got to keep me interested in what you're trying to give to me. And Lamar and Dwight are absolutely the best, baby. So one day I'm boxing, the next day I'm dancing, one day I'm figure skating. You don't know what you might find.
Why? And we're going to get into the real discussion in just a second. Why are you sharing it?
I want to show the next sister, if I can, you can. I'm 54 years old. You know, I got 5 children. Married, been married 3 different times, and a happy marriage now. So it's almost saying if I can, you can, because there's nothing unique or special. It's just getting out there and doing it.
Okay. We always start on The Pulse because I get the pleasure of talking to people who are doing so many different things. And society always wants to define people. I'm always curious as to how you define yourself. So if you get to define you, how do you do that? That's a shocking question.
Yeah, like how do I you know what I would like to say? Just a big ball of love. That's it. Okay. A big ball of love.
I started talking in the beginning, Academy Award winner, Golden Globe, Grammy. We know you as the Queens of Comedy. We know you on all of the different things. And then over the years, there have been some challenges that we're also going to explore. But do you think people know your history, how long it is, the different trailblazing and successes you've been involved in?
You know, I think some do. I think some has been there since day one. You know, coming to Philly, coming to the Keswick Theater, there'll be some people that will show up, baby, that when I was doing little small clubs in the back of a bar in Philly, you know, so there have been those that's been there since day one. They're those babies that's just getting to meet me. They're those babies that, you know, they're not even here yet. So I'm grateful for the ones that said from day one, sis, I'm right here with you. And I'm grateful for the ones that say, hey, sis, I'm just getting to meet you.
It was impressive to me because I've known your career for a while and knew the comedy side of it. And then I'm doing research. I went, wow, Academy Award, Golden Globe, Grammy, all those things. When you were traveling doing comedy, did you even expect that, hope for that, anticipate that?
I didn't hope for that. Because when I got into stand-up comedy, I wanted to be a stand-up comedian and a talk show host. That's all I saw. That's all I wanted. Everything else literally fell into place. It fell into my lap. Becoming an actress fell into my lap. I didn't go to Hollywood to become an actress. I went to Hollywood to become a talk show host. So, you know, again, to say that I hope for it, you know what I hope for? I always wanted to be famous.
Really?
I wanted to be famous. I practiced signing my autograph. I practiced how I would respond and react because I saw the Jackson 5, baby. When I was a little girl running off the plane, I was like, oh, I want the people to chase me. I want them to run after me. So my hope was always to be famous.
That was the hope. And then there is the be careful what you wish for, or you hope for, because you got it. You know, and you had tremendous levels of success, but with that became tremendous levels of exposure and challenges. So now in your career, still happy for that? Or if you had it to revisit, would that still be the hope?
I wouldn't do one thing different, baby.
Really?
I wouldn't say one thing different. I wouldn't do one thing different. And I still stand in exactly what I said. So oftentimes when you take a stand, if you know our history, you know the challenges will come. because the one that normally takes the stand is the one that normally takes the hit. Mm-hmm. So I knew what was happening when I was going to take the stand to say the things that I had to say. My husband and I had talked about it. We knew it. We understand how our community gets down. We understand that there may be a time and place where people tell you to sit down and shut up and let it go. And I heard all of those things. But I also heard the ones in the community saying, don't back down. I heard those elderly sisters and brothers saying, baby girl, we keeping you uplifted. We holding on to you. So for me to have children of my own and grandchildren, I wouldn't change not one thing. Because when my children look at me and they daddy and say, we proud of y'all. We proud of the stand y'all took. I wouldn't change it at all, baby.
Spending some time with comedian, actor, and I called her a fitness guru. MoNique joins us. Let's keep the conversation going. I was reading that the advice that possibly changed your career you got from Martin Lawrence, and it fits into what we're talking about here. What was that advice?
You know, we were doing Welcome Home, Roscoe Jenkins, and Martin is from Upper Maryland. I'm from Baltimore, Maryland, and they say Upper Maryland like DC, Baltimore, okay. And I had never met him before. So we're on the set, and I get a knock on my trailer door, and it is one of Martin's sisters, and she says, Martin would like for you to come down to his trailer. So I said, okay. Like, I'm ready to go meet my brother, right? I get down to this trailer, and when I tell you this is a 3-story penthouse, do you hear what I'm saying to you? It was a bottom floor, a middle floor, a top floor. I'm talking about full bathrooms, full bedrooms, baby. It was incredible. So I was like, I'm so proud of you, brother. Just, you make us proud. And he looked at me and said, MoNique, don't ever let them tell you what you can't have.
You know, it's interesting because in hindsight, the things that got you, in quotes, into trouble, years later, they don't seem like they should have been that hard line a stand. Like I'm not going to do additional publicity, at least that's what the rumor says, because I want to spend time with my family. Like that's something in today's society that I would hope we would applaud. You know, you challenged that you were not being paid what you viewed as fairly, you know, for a comedy routine from a company that very clearly has it and very clearly was paying people. Yes. These don't seem like huge controversial stances, and yet they were. And when you look back on them, do you ever think about that? Like, wow, I got dragged on some level for wanting to spend time with my family or wanting to be paid equally.
Well, when you understand again our history, and you say, well, why was Martin dragged? Why was Malcolm dragged? Why was Fannie Lou Hamer dragged? Why was Eartha Kitt dragged? Why were the people dragged that took a stand and said, I'm going to have to say, this is unacceptable? And then when you look at me and you look at the package that I'm in, I am a fat Black woman. So there are a lot of people that feel like I should just be grateful I got invited to the party. So we can't accept it coming from the package that looks like you. So I think when we get into a space of understanding right is right and wrong is wrong, I don't give a damn what the package looks like. If you're right, you're right. If you're wrong, you're wrong. And get out of a place of fear. When we look at our brother, Colin Kaepernick, and that brother, we know that brother did nothing wrong, said nothing wrong. He simply took a knee following the advice from a brother that was a veteran to say, how can I show my respect? Yeah. He did nothing wrong, but what the NFL had to show at that moment was, we're going to punish him so severely that none of you other players will ever make that step. What we're going to show you with MoNique, we'll punish her so severely for simply telling us she wouldn't work for free that none of you other Black actresses will make that step.
And there were a lot of questions about Colin Kaepernick from a lot of different people. History has ended up being largely on his side. When you see everything that happened and you see it from the lens of that many years later. Just recently, you know, you and one of those challenges was Precious. You're award-winning. Everyone's celebrating your work. And then coming out of that, you pointed out that you were largely challenged, blacklisted, because You said, I'm not doing extra stuff on time where I should be spending time with my family. And then I saw that lasted for like 13 years. I mean, that went on.
13, baby, what the hell?
That went on for a really long time. I saw when you and Lee Daniels reconciled. And for those of us who didn't know, I didn't know you were close friends. You know, I didn't know that it had lingered for that long. And I'm curious how that felt going through that.
I had been waiting for my friend to show back up because that man is my friend. And I know what it is to mess up. I know what it is to be out of order, out of line, disrespectful. And I know what it is to be forgiven. And I know what it is for somebody to give me grace. And that somebody is my husband. So the universe said to me, now it's your turn. So when that man said to me and my husband, let me apologize. And he did it from his heart. It's done. It is done because I can remember having to do the same thing. And I can remember being given grace when I didn't have to be.
Feel good that after all of these years, first, you got your friend back, but second, some of the people who were critical are now going, maybe I need to rethink how I handled that.
You know, I can't speak on those people because only they can answer that question for you. The people I will speak on is when I'm in Texas and a woman in her 80s is standing in a meet and greet line to meet me. And I have them go pull that elderly woman out of the line, and she comes up to me and she whispers in my ear, we were watching you and we were praying for you. And we knew that would come. We knew. So I can speak on the young sister when I'm walking through the airport and she comes up to me with tears in her eyes and she says, thank you for fighting for me, Auntie. Wow. I can speak on the brother that comes up to me and says, when I talk to my daughters and I say to them, you know, follow MoNique's story, read her story. I can speak on those people and how that feels. I can speak on my 35-year-old daughter saying, Mommy, wow, what you showing me, what you and Daddy are showing us and teaching us. I can speak on that when I'm no longer here and my picture hangs up in the living room and my granddaughter's daughter says, that one right there. So I can't focus on the ones that felt like I shouldn't have, and why would I? And sit down and shut up, because you're right. That is now their cross to bear.
We've gone deep for a minute. Let's have some fun. What are we seeing when you're coming to Glenside, to Philly, to the Keswick? We'll be here. You're on tour, so it's not just the Keswick. Are we
get your bleeper machine ready? If you want to know what y'all gonna say, get my delay button ready. Is the person at the delay machine?
Yeah, we got edit.
Because I'm ready to say something. When I get on that stage, it is truly my therapy. Now, there was a time I paid somebody a whole lot of money and I went and sat on her couch for some years. And I had to come to grips with, when I'm on that stage, it allows me to get this. It allows me to say this. And I love it saying with spicy words, because if you don't use spicy words, it don't punch it the way it needs to punch it. So when I come to the Keswick, get ready for spicy. Get ready for extra hot. Get ready for, what is it called? Hottie sauce? Hey, get ready.
So this really is comedy routine. It's sharing your stories. It's just what? It's just a night with you? Wow, that didn't come out right. It's spending some time. You made me
sound like I was a worker.
That's right. It's a night hearing everything and the stories and the comedy as well.
You know what I always tell people? If you want to get to know me, come to a show. You don't have to read nobody else's opinion about me. You don't have to try to paste and copy the story together. If you want to get to know me, you will truly get to know me when you come to the show.
This was not on my list of things I wanted to ask, but you're here and it just came into my mind. What if somebody came up on stage, and you probably have relationships with both, but you obviously saw Will Smith, Chris Rock situation, and you are a comedian, but you're also auntie who keeps it real. What was your take on that whole scenario?
You know how in the family, especially in Black families, and you got two uncles, and you got Uncle Buddy, and you got Uncle Junie. And Uncle Buddy and Uncle Junie downstairs in the basement going at it. And everybody knew, don't go down in the basement because they're going to work that thing out. But Uncle Buddy and Uncle Junie got to go through it.
Right.
That's Uncle Buddy and Uncle Junie. And they're going to work that out. Because sometimes we've got to step out to let people work it out. My opinion is not necessary.
Okay.
How I feel about it is not necessary. What I do know is I love both of those brothers. I love those brothers. And I want those babies to work that thing out. Now, when I get to the stage, I don't know how I might feel about it.
Right. Don't get it twisted. Do not come up on stage while MoNique is there. You won't make it to the stage.
Don't do that, sugar. Now, don't do that. Now, don't you walk yourself up on, if you ain't walking with hugs, what they say on Nutty Professor, you're going to walk over, but you're going to limp back. And tell them stop whispering in your damn ear while we talking.
I don't know either of them, and I love what you're saying about them working it out. I guess the challenge that I had is that, you know, Uncle Buddy and Uncle Junie did it in public with millions of people watching, and I think that was the challenge that people now had to overcome. Sometimes,
baby, we get so blown away. Oh my God. Mm-hmm. You know who was traumatized in that? Chris Rock and Will Smith.
Right.
Everybody else back up. I was triggered. Oh, and listen, when Uncle Buddy and Uncle Junie be down there on that dog liquor, ain't nobody triggered. We know what's going to happen because Uncle Junie's wife got out of order and Uncle Buddy had to deal. Whatever it is, if we stop putting so much energy and focus on, oh my God, what happened? Pay attention to what's happening with you. Mm-hmm. So that you may never be in a situation like that. And it doesn't have to be in front of millions of people. It could simply be in front of two people, you and somebody else, but you're out of order and out of line.
Do you think in the years that you've been fighting these battles for equality, these battles to stand up, the advice that Martin Lawrence gave you, and you continue to pass on to other people, has Hollywood changed? Is it changing? Are those things going to be fewer and further between?
I don't know that Hollywood is changing when you have to post that Angela Bassett is the highest paid Black woman on television. But if you look at Angela Bassett's resume compared to all the other women on television, someone would say, why isn't she the highest paid woman, not just Black? So again, I think sometimes we take danglings of that carrot and say, oh, okay, well, whatever I have to do, Angela Bassett should be one of the highest paid women, not Black women. But we celebrate it in our community. Oh, yeah, but is it really oh, yeah? Because if you set our sister's resume down to all the women on television, mm-hmm. you would have to say, shouldn't she be the highest paid woman and not just Black? When we are now in 2022 and we're still celebrating the first Black, the first Black, the first Black. And we look at that like, what a great thing that is. Should we be doing that?
We end every show. I feel like you've been doing this the whole discussion, but we ask everybody how you use your voice for good.
How do we use our voice for good? Be good on purpose. Be good on purpose, baby. Don't need a motive, don't need a reason. Wake up and say, today is a good day and I'm going to be good on purpose.
Appreciate what she brought to the show, and in a lot of ways it's what we want the show to be. People sharing their experiences and giving all of us a chance to get a better understanding. I think we got that today, so I thank her and I thank you. And if you're interested in hearing the entire interview, you always can. It's a podcast. You can get it any place where podcasts are distributed. Thank you very much for watching, and whenever you can, use your voice for good and have a good one.